I got unconscious. And the last visual of the room was around 4 doctors in my room and 4 or 5 nurses. And everything went dark. So probably that time, everybody around felt that they have lost me.
That was Dr. Anshul Singhal at a hospital in Bangkok, and she just shared one of the most difficult moments in her life with you. Have you ever thought about who would show up for you if you were facing a really tough time in your life? Who would have your back and care for you no matter what? If you have at least one person like that in your life, I consider you blessed. And now I want you to imagine this. What if the person you least expected to help you in your time of need not only showed up for you, but exceeded your expectations? How would that make you feel? Welcome to episode 12 of the X Perspective podcast. I'm your host, Raj. After delivering her firstborn son, Anshul's life was about to take an unexpected turn. A big storm had been brewing. Real tough times were ahead for Anshul. Just a few months after delivering her baby, she had her gallbladder removed. And unbeknownst to her, she fell into postpartum depression. In time, she would discover that one of her other organs had a rare disease. Now, my listeners, Anshul's story isn't just about her health challenges. It's much more than that. It shows how other humans can leave a loving and lasting imprint when they show up during one's dark times. It's about recognizing the value of those who bring back the sunlight during a stormy period in your life. It's an interesting episode, so come with me and let's start with how Anshul first discovered that she was depressed.
I had withdrawal symptoms. Like, I'm a very social person. I enjoy social gatherings. I like talking a lot, but I was talking less and less.
Mm-hmm.
And I never realized it. But then my sister had a wedding. And I'm the one who's excited, going to places, shopping, let's see this designer, let's see that, and then finalize. And that time I was the least interested person to know what's happening. What is she going to wear? What am I going to wear? Which jewelry, which color? I had no interest, zero.
At that time, did you feel like something was off with you, or is it people started noticing that something was different about you?
Not people, actually. It was my mom. She said, "You are not the usual. Let me take you to a psychiatrist." I said, "Why? I don't need a psychiatrist. I'm all okay. What's happening to me?" She said, "No, let's take an opinion. I'm thinking, I'm observing you. You are not the same you." And then we went and he analyzed and he talked to me and I was crying. I don't know why. I met him for the first time and I was just crying. I said, he is not my relative. He is nobody to me. He's not even my friend. Why am I crying with him? That time I understood that there is something. Then I was on medication for about 8 months until I conceived. Yeah.
Yes, so that takes me to my next question. A couple of years later, after you had your son, you had another baby and you were hoping for a healthy pregnancy. But your expectations were not met, you told me. And can you explain to the listeners what happened to your heart at 32 weeks into your second pregnancy?
Yeah, so we never had plans to have another baby because one was enough and COVID hit really hard on him. He was not very social and whole of my day, went with engaging him and playing with him. But when we came here, the life was little different. It was not the same as back in India. I was in Mumbai, so it was an apartment culture where everybody would come down in the evening and you can meet, greet, you can play. Here it's a mixed culture, expats from various countries. And my son was not very social. So planning play dates for him, taking him out to other places was a bit challenging. And then we decided, okay, it's been so many years now. So I just prayed either I get a professional growth or I get a personal growth. I need something because I was still on the medication, depression medication, and I just wanted to get out of it, to engage myself. So God, I think, chose the second option of giving personal growth. And we thankfully grew into bigger family. So second time when I got pregnant, I just hope that, this time, post pregnancy, I should not face any issues. This pregnancy should go smooth and nice. And I just took care of myself. I was more relaxed, more calm, and didn't stress much. We went to India when I was 28 weeks pregnant because the last we could come back here for delivery was 32nd week. So we planned in a way that we came back here. And it was my routine checkup. I went, I came back. It was all okay. The next day, I was not able to even walk to the washroom. I was feeling so breathless. And even the aircon was not working. I said, something is wrong. Towards the end, you feel a lot hot. You need more aircon. But it was not usual. So I said, let's go and check up. So we went the other day and my gynae was not there. So she just directed me to cardiology. There was a young doctor, around 38, 35. She checked, she did an echo. And she found out that I was having acute heart failure. My heart was not pumping. The baby was in danger. I was in danger. And she said, the exact words that she used was, you're having a heart failure. It's quite an emergent situation and you will have to terminate the pregnancy. The word terminate, that rang a bell that what the hell is she saying? At 32 weeks, you don't terminate, you deliver. Even if it's a premature baby, right? So we couldn't understand. We took some time to understand and gain that confidence. Then I had a word with my gynae. I just called her. I said, if you are not here, I'm just stepping out of the hospital. I have never seen this doctor. I don't trust her. You have to come. She came all the way for us only. So that's the kind of medical facility, Thailand has. They consider the patient's health most important. She was on a holiday. She was on a leave probably. And she came.
Your gynecologist.
Yes. So then she said, even I don't know about it. Let me understand what's the current situation here. Then she called up some senior doctors and then we got to understand that this is a condition called peripartum myocardiopathy. So this is a rare condition which happens due to pregnancy hormones. It basically is an acute heart failure wherein there is no blockage, there is no cholesterol or hypertension related thing. It's just the heart muscles are not pumping the blood to the body. And that's why you are feeling breathless and you're coughing most of the time. And there is a possibility that you could go into a cardiac arrest.
So what did you decide to do at that moment when you were being told you needed to terminate your pregnancy?
Yeah, I first thought that came to my mind was that this doctor is crazy. She doesn't know anything. Let's change the doctor. So that's why I approached my gynae and she called the director there. And then I said, if you are going to do that, I'm going to walk away. And they warned me, if you're going to walk away, it's a very risky thing. First of all, we have to save you. And then if we could save the baby. So that was a very tough choice, either you or the baby. We wanted both. So then we took our time and then back home, my aunt is a gynae. I talked to her. She said, oh, this is the situation. So don't worry. You just deliver the baby as soon as possible. But as I told, that they asked me to terminate the pregnancy. So basically, they used the wrong word, terminate. They wanted to deliver the baby through C-section ASAP.
Okay.
So that one word, miscommunicated the entire situation
Sure.
and created a lot of stress. So that is one thing I wanted to stress upon in every organization, in every field, that you should be able to communicate with the right kind of approach, right kind of words, and the right kind of tone. It's very important.
Yeah, there's a big difference between terminate a
And
pregnancy
deliver.
or deliver.
Yeah.
And I know that despite your heart condition, you were able to succeed in delivering your baby girl,
Yeah.
right? And then you returned home, but 20 days later, you returned back to the hospital, and this time to the emergency.
Yes.
What happened?
They had not started my heart medication after the delivery. So we were in the hospital more than usual days. My baby was in NICU. And when we returned home, they said sooner or later we have to start your heart medication. But since I was breastfeeding, so they didn't start. In my postpartum follow-up, one of the times I went to the doctor, but he saw something, wrong with me. He thought maybe I'm having some kind of blues. And he had planned to talk to me regarding the weaning of the breastfeed. But that day he decided not to, because of my emotional breakage or emotional breakdown at that time. 10 days later, we had a small ritual, Indian ritual at home for the baby girl. And 3 o'clock in the morning, I was unable to breathe. 1 hour I struggled. I was not able to sit. I was not able to lie down. I was not able to stand. I was just very restless. So my mom decided, okay, we'll just postpone this ritual. We'll see what to do. You just go and check the doctor right now. So we rushed to the emergency. They admitted me. My oxygen level was the oxygen saturation was 85%, which is really low. So they put on the oxygen mask and I was given some medication. And the next time I woke up, I was in ICU.
And this is in Thailand or India?
Yes, everything is happening in Bangkok. And the doctor came and he said, why are you again back? I said, you just love me here. What to do? When are you, discharging me? I have a ritual at home. Just put on the oxygen and just, discharge me. I have to go and attend the ritual today.
Okay, so you needed to do this ritual. And so you asked the doctor, hurry up.
Yeah.
Give me some oxygen. I got to get back.
Yeah, I'm going back. He said, do you understand? You came in emergency and now you woke up in ICU. You're not going back anytime soon. I said, then when? He said, not before 3 days. I said, what? Already you kept me for a week after delivery and now you want me more. I don't love you that much. I love my baby. I need to get back home.
It's great to have sense of humor even when you are going through a really hard time.
I really wanted to be back home.
Sometimes when you're suffering and you're going through a very difficult period in your life, for whatever case, in your case, it was your medical condition, your heart. Some people in your life really show up at that time and exceed your expectations. And I know 2 people in your life did that for you. It was your husband and your newly hired nanny.
Yeah.
So first, let's talk about your husband. How did he exceed your expectations during that very difficult time?
One thing, when you are a patient, you actually don't care about anything because there are many thoughts crossing over your mind. First thought is, okay, if I get back, everything will be fine. I'll take care of my family. If I don't make it, then you see around what's happening, who's going to take care, who's going to take the lead, and will they be able to, navigate through life without you or not. You are not worried for your health anymore because it's not in your hands. That was my condition when I was in ICU. So thankfully, my mom was there to take care of the baby back home, and my nanny was there to take care of the elder baby. So my husband would be there for the entire time in the ICU, and he will do everything. He will send the baby to the school. He will bring my food. He will comb my hair. He will talk, just to make my mood better and lighter. And he will say, "Oh, it's just a small thing. They just love you so much. You're going to be back home soon. I'll ask them not to love you so much." And then I have dated him like for many years before getting married. So I knew he's a kind of person who doesn't, see the roles of a woman or a man from one lens only. He'll step into any role whenever and wherever it's required. Even it's my home, it's his home, it's my mom's home, he'll cook. He has no shame in that. He rather takes pride. So he will hold the baby, he will change her nappies, he will feed her, and he'll move her around. And probably my son was the first child he ever held in his life, in his arms. So he never knew how to take care of the baby, but gradually he learned because he wanted to. And he saw me, suffering. So he was there for me in any kind of space that I wanted him to be. He would talk to the doctors, he would get the medication, he'll settle the finances. He was there back home also, collecting the groceries, taking care of the baby.
So all those things your husband did for you.
Yeah, everything.
How did that make you feel?
He was running the entire show. So that kind of placed me in a confident mode that if I can't make it, he can still be there for the babies and he will really take care of the family.
And what about the love you felt for your husband in that dark moment in your life?
Actually, can't say about love, but I don't know how to explain it.
Try.
No, he was keeping himself really strong, and so this time I had pneumonia. And after, I think, second day of being in ICU, I got unconscious. And the last visual of the room was around 4 doctors in my room and 4 or 5 nurses. And everything went dark. So probably that time everybody around felt that they have lost me. And my husband was not there. He just went to get some reports. So around 4 hours later, when I woke up, there was a lot of discussion and a lot of calls from back home. And they had plans to airlift me and take me to India. Because only my mom was here. The rest of the family was in India. So they thought that if I would be airlifted, and I have doctors in my family, they said that if you are here, you will be better taken care of because we will be there to understand and do whatever. That night, he broke down.
Your husband.
Yeah.
Why did he break down? Because you're thinking about being airlifted to India?
No, because he thought that he would have lost me, few hours back. And maybe that guilt of, he's not doing enough. And so many people questioning him, what's happening? Why can't you explain? Because he himself didn't know what's happening to me. So those questions made him, go on a guilt trip of maybe he's not doing enough. But luckily, I'm a survivor.
You're a strong woman.
Yeah. So I made it. After 4 hours, I was again back to conscious. And I was fully awake and I said, "You're doing enough. It's not in your hands what to do. That silly, bacteria or what viruses are just attacking me. You can't take them off."
You're like, what are you crying about? I'm here and I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah, I'm not leaving you,
I'm not leaving you, right?
Yeah.
But I also want to talk about, where I grew up in Canada. And my parents are Indians. But I didn't really get too much of an understanding what is the role of a husband in a marriage. So when you mentioned earlier that your husband changed the diapers, did the cooking, is this not normal in Indian culture?
Not at all.
Can you elaborate a little bit for the audience?
So, I come from a business class family, and I don't know whether it's there just in business class or in service class also. I just have seen the usual thing that men of the family don't cook. They cook occasionally, as per their hobby, as per their will. If they want to change the mood, they want to try something, but the mess that they will create later, oh God. So the women will say, okay, you just stay outside, we'll cook for you. So I have never seen like my brothers. I grew up in a joint family. I have never seen any of my brothers cooking, except for one uncle in the family, my chacha. None of the men cooked. They would not even, so whenever they are returning home from work, you have to go and offer them a glass of water. They won't pick it up from the kitchen by themselves. And women, even if you don't like it, you have to learn it, because one day you're going to get married and you'll have to step into kitchen. Even if you're not doing a full-fledged, meal preparation, the small things, making coffee and, greeting people and offering them tea, whatever, you have to learn those manners.
I have to admit that those kind of manners were also taught to us growing up. Like when people come over, make sure you serve them. And I also remember like my dad would never put his own food. And
never. You have to serve them. Okay,
Yeah.
they have come from office. Okay, you just, freshen up and we'll just serve the dinner. Okay, dinner is ready. Papa ko bula lo. Call your dad.
call your dad. Yeah. So I'm just trying to let the listeners understand why it was such a big deal for you when your husband did step up, because in your culture in India, men usually don't take that role.
So in India, gender roles are actually predefined. If men do the women gender roles, it's okay, it's their choice. They will be like appreciated more and more. And vice versa, if a woman is earning the bread for the family and not doing the household chores, she will never be appreciated. She will be always be questioned, why don't you do this? This is your job. Who will feed your kids? Who will feed the family? They'll fall sick. It's never an equal, approach. So my husband had never thought it like that. So every Sunday, because it's his work off, he will cook the entire day. He'll cook breakfast for us, he'll cook lunch for us, and dinner we'll do outside. So whenever he'll get time, and if I am not feeling well, and if I'm in bed, he will never ask me to get up and at least, make something. He knows that it's his job. He will feed everybody. He'll take a day off. And whenever I felt sick, even, a small headache, I say, I am just not feeling like, he'll say, okay, I'll make tea for you. You'll feel better.
He sounds like a wonderful husband. But during that dark period in your life, when you went to the emergency, he even exceeded those expectations. Am I right?
Yeah. He would do everything, right from finance to the basic, the mopping of the house. He would do everything.
That's amazing. And now I want to jump into the second person who was really there for you, who exceeded your expectations. And you mentioned her, your nanny.
Yes.
So before you describe how she touched your heart, can you briefly tell the audience what kind of a relationship did you have with her prior to going into the emergency?
So she was a regular, like a house and maid, live-in maid. You'll find a lot of Burmese in Thailand, in Bangkok working. So when she came in, So I started my pregnancy towards the end of November and she joined towards the end of December. She just came like in the very initial days of my pregnancy. And this pregnancy was very difficult. I hardly could eat anything. I was vomiting all the time. And like more than 15 days, I didn't even had a bread. I was really struggling and I had lost weight. So she, out of all the persons in the home, she would come and stand near to me. I said, why are you standing? Let me, just be on my own in the washroom. And she would say, no, if you need something, I'm here. So she started like that. And she just could speak Burmese or Nepalese or Hindi. No Thai, no English. That time, my son used to speak only English. A lot of communication gap. And the earlier nanny that I had, she used to play a lot with my son. And this person, she's a mom. She is married and she's not that bubbly and young girl who will play all around. So I said it's going to be like a really difficult time for me because I can't control my situation. I am almost on bed on the time because of feeling weak and all. And my son wants to play all the time. So how are we going to, fix in the puzzle and make it work? But they I don't know how they managed. They became friends and everything was fine.
But you were also skeptical of her at first.
Yes. And within a month I said, I can't bear her. Everything I explain, I have to explain like 3 times and I don't have the energy and she doesn't understand the language. Let's change. So that time my husband stepped in and he said, whosoever you hire, there will be some problem or the other. If she has this problem that she doesn't understand one time, you explain her 2-3 times. What's the big deal? She will learn. Once she learn, you'll be, off this duty. So you try, give her at least a month, And I thought, okay, let's just bear for 1 more month and then I'll see.
And it turned out to be a really good decision because she turned
is
out
a blessing in disguise.
Right?
God sent. I would say she's God sent. And when I went to the emergency, the next time I was admitted, that time she took care of the baby. She took care of my mom because she is also old. She took care of the household. She took care of my son. She made sure that everything is in place. His uniform, his bag, the baby. Obviously, the baby makes you awake the whole night. And she's a new baby. She doesn't know anything. And my mom can't take care of the baby at night. So she used to be there all the time.
This is when just to be clear, this is when you went to the emergency and you were really sick and you were in the ICU.
Yes.
So she really stepped up for you.
Yes.
Were you expecting that?
Never. And, they have a weekly off. For the entire 2 months, she didn't even take a single off.
She didn't take a single day off?
No.
You're crying. Why?
Because maids, they don't do that for you. And if they do, they expect some kind of, monetary compensation for that, right? She never asked for it. She never asked us to raise her salary, otherwise she'll leave. Until today, she has never asked. Even today, if I say, okay, don't go, I'm not feeling that well, or you just go for a day and you come back in the evening. Because who will take care of the baby at night? She wakes up so many times. I can't because I take my medication and I'm off to sleep. And if my husband is awake at night, who's going to do the office work? Who is going to send the child to school? She'll say, okay, I'll go in the morning and I'll be back by 8. So that I'm there for the baby at night. And for this, she's not even asking for a monetary compensation or she's not even expecting it. Whatever I give out of my wish, she just accepts that with wholeheartedly. She will thank me so many times. On the other hand, if I see my friends and listen to their stories, they know the maid knows when you are in crisis situation. They want to and make use of that opportunity of getting a salary raise. Otherwise, they will, threaten you, okay, I leave. I have found another work. This person, I hardly know her. It's just 1 year, 1.5 years. And she did so much for me
And how did that make you feel?
that humanity is still alive. It's rare, it's less to find, it's hard to find. But there are people who are kind, and still there is a lot of hope.
What message, Anshul, do you want to give to people who notice that other people are struggling or are having a tough time in their life? What message do you want to give to them? Because you experienced a lot of love and care during a very difficult time, so you know how it feels. Is there something you want to tell people?
Things are beyond your imagination. We always, dream about a good life, everything going rosy, but situations come. I would say just don't give up. If you ask for help, it will be given. You just need to tap on the right person. Don't fall into the trap of this hanky panky, culture of going out, making friends just for fun and party. You'll find them everywhere around at the nook and corner of every street. You have money, you can take anybody. But the real relationships, it's really hard to find. And when you find, just hold on to them. It could be anybody.
Do you see your nanny as a part of your family now?
She is family. My so this time when we were planning a trip to somewhere, so I said, okay, we are going to go, and I was discussing it with my son, and then he asked me, what about Geeta Didi? Where will she live? She's a family. Where will she go? I said, maybe she wants to go to her kids now. Then he was not convinced enough, and he straight away went to her and asked, Geeta Didi, will you be fine if we do that? And this time when I wanted to go to India to attend a wedding, my nanny was like, she came up like a family member. Okay, I want to go to get my passport done.
Wow.
She has been a very quiet and a very shy person. Even if my husband is around, she will not be seen in that room. With time, she has developed that relationship that they could sit on the same sofa together. When she came, she was not in the same space also. She used to find another space for herself. She was not able to, sit on the same table and eat with us. Now, whenever we go out in a restaurant, and we took her for a holiday also with us, she was comfortable.
Anshul, I really want to talk about how important it is when people show up in your life during a hard time. I think it's so important that people realize that how it really impacts somebody, especially when someone is feeling so sick, that when someone shows up for them, like what it means, like how much it means.
When you're happy, when you are in your growth period and you're progressing, everybody would like to, be a part of your life, a friend of yours, because you're having fun. There's no difficulty, and whatever experiences money brings in, you can go to better restaurants, you can, visit countries. People want to experience that. Happy times. But the truth of life is, if there are happy times, there are sad times also. But only and only family remains in that time. I don't know why. Either that's a choice or it's a compulsion. More for family, they are connected to you because they have seen you. So it's their choice as well, it's their compulsion as well, because if not family, then who will? So your parents, your siblings, everybody is in your journey. But these extras, your friends, your helpers, your neighbors, whosoever you know, and especially when you're living in a foreign land. You have a handful of people, to whom you really connect. If they show up in person or in spirits, that's what this is real relationship which I have earned in my life. Everything else was, just temporary. And in your 30s and 40s, you are looking, at least me, for me, I can speak for myself. I'm looking for more of meaningful relationships. Not those, temporary relationships who will give me a moment of happiness or something. I need people, those people who can be constants in my ups and downs both. And for me as well, I will be there for you. If you are there for me, I will be more than, happy to be there for you. And I need those people. I don't need these, stressful people who are just there today and not there tomorrow.
Listeners, I hope you're listening carefully to Anshul. She is letting you know that it is so important to be there for people during their tough times.
Yeah, if you can be there in their happy times, be a part of both the times with them.
Yeah.
That's how you build relationship. And in this era of, digitalization, even if 4 people sitting together, they are on their phones, then what's the point of meeting? You can be on your phones at home as well. What's the point of talking? But talking, having a conversation, sharing that warmth makes you feel wanted, makes you feel that you're not lonely. The world is a nicer place. I'm not lonely. And also it saves you from getting into depression, saves you from overthinking. Every now and then I see, young kids, teenagers, they're falling into the trap of depression. Why? Because they are just, comparing their life. They have nobody to talk to. It's so important to have friends, to talk to people. So my nanny, I could talk to her about anything. And that's why it's important to invest in relationships with people who are there for you.
The next time you notice someone is facing a difficult ordeal, whether it's psychological or physical, remember Anshul's story. And think about how your support might just change someone's life. Even a small act of kindness can go a long way. As I sat across Anshul, I vividly remember the tears streaming down her face as she spoke about her supportive husband and nanny. I believe they were tears of happiness. The joy of knowing there were people in her world who helped calm the storm in her life. My listeners, thank you for your time and attention. But before you go, I have one last question. Have you visited our website yet? You'll find us at theexperspectivepodcast.com. It was built specifically for us by an awesome company called Stegadon Software. They help small businesses level up with sleek modern websites and custom apps without any tech headaches. They got our website up and running in no time and were very attentive to all our needs and concerns. If you're curious about what they can do for you, mention the X Perspective podcast and you'll get a free consultation. Check them out at stegadonsoftware.com. That's STEGODON software.com. Stegadon Software. Smart software, fewer obstacles. My listeners, we have many interesting stories lined up for this season, focusing on the theme of expectations. You can follow us on Spotify or Apple Podcasts to be notified of new episodes. To easily find us online, visit our website at theexperspectivepodcast.com. There you will find links to our podcast and social media platforms. Or just use the handle TXP_podcast to find us on social media. But I encourage you to just take a minute and visit our website. Thanks again for listening. See you in episode 13.